a man came up in front of her and started shouting at her, "Get out of the masjid. Women are not allowed in this masjid." The woman continued to perform her salah, ignoring the man. For the entire time that she was performing her salah, he kept on shouting, "Get out of this masjid. Women are not allowed in this masjid." When she was finished with her salah, she made salams, did not wait to make dua. She got up and she left very quietly, without speaking to the man. This happened in my island of Trinidad. From where did we get this, that women are not allowed in the masjid? In the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, there must have been conditions of grave insecurity. And since men are the guardians of a woman cannot leave her home unless her guardian is satisfied that she is safe. And so you can prohibit your wife from coming to the masjid. Of course you can do that. But that will be because of conditions of insecurity. Yes. But that cannot be a permanent ban. Because if you make it a permanent ban, then you have changed the religion. Because from this hadith we know that women came to the masjid for salah. And Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam has himself said specifically, do not prohibit women from coming to the masjid for salah. You can say to your wife, it's better for you to pray at home. But if she says, I want to come to the masjid, as the wife of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he is the Khalifa, and she wants to come to the masjid, he could not stop her. Why don't you stop me, she said. Amir al-Mu'mineen, why don't you stop me? She used to say to him. He could not. Because she had the right to come. Because Allah's Messenger gave her the right. The only time he could stop her is if there are conditions of insecurity. And even now, right here in Mitchell's Place, if there are conditions of insecurity, you can tell your woman to stay at home. Not allowed to come in the masjid. You can do it now. And so if women are banned from coming to the masjid, you've changed the religion. What is going to be your fate on the Day of Judgment? Hadith is in Sahih Bukhari, but in two forms, both of which are dangerous. That it will be very hot on the Day of Judgment. Heat will be terrible. And we'll be very thirsty. But the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam will be coming to him, and he will be standing by al-Kawthar, the spring of water, and he'll be offering water to members of his ummah. But there will be some who would come to him and he would refuse to give them water. And they would say, "O Messenger of Allah, we are Muslims. We are members of your ummah." He would say, "But you changed your religion after I left. No water for you today." That is one form of the hadith. The other one is worse than that. In the other form, it is Allah who instructs him, don't give them any water. Allah who instructs him, don't give them any water. Because they changed the religion. The worst place to change a religion is in the house of Allah. And if you prevent women from coming to the house of Allah without a valid reason, like for example conditions of rioting and anarchy and so on, without valid condition, you prevent women, you make it a permanent ban, you've changed the religion. So now, okay, if you've denied her that right, and tomorrow the masjid is built for women only, you can cry on that day. You can cry on that day. But you'll deserve what you got. Because they're going to exploit. They're going to exploit the ban on women coming to the masjid on that day. But what about if we allow her to come to the masjid? Then what is this about the last row of the men being the one with the greatest evil, and the first row of the woman being the one with the greatest evil? This is Sahih Muslim. Did I tell you that? Did I tell you that this hadith is in Sahih Muslim? Did I say it? Yes. I did? Well then it is Sahih. Alright? Nobody can take it out of Sahih Muslim now, too late. You have to deal with this hadith. The only way we can understand this hadith, the only way it will have any meaning, is because the women were praying behind the men. That's the only way. The women were praying behind the men. They were not praying in an annex. They were not praying in the basement. They were not praying in an upstairs gallery. They were not praying at the side. In Trinidad, I grew up, all my life I grew up with a screen in the masjid, and women on one side and men on the other side. No? And as a boy I could remember, sometimes the first row of the men might have to go back one row or come forward one row. So the Imam would call out to the women to inform them so that they could remain in the same row, go back or come forward. So men and women were praying in one saf with a piece of cloth in between. This is what I grew up with. If any of these things prevail, then we have in fact denied women the right that Allah gave to her. And Nabi Muhammad ﷺ has spoken of in this hadith that women must pray at the back and men at the front. So Wednesday night we had the Christian-Muslim dialogue at the University of Cape Town. The bishop, the Christian bishop, introduced me to his wife. So she put out her hand. So I said, excuse me, we don't shake hands, but we give you a nice smile. Excuse me, we don't shake hands, but I'll give you a nice smile. And she liked it. As soon as I did that, somebody else came and put out his hand for shaking her hand. A Muslim. She's puzzled. And she withdrew her hand. She didn't shake hands with him. She didn't shake hands with him. So I said to the bishop, here we are. We're going to perform salat now. And you can see the sheets arranged there. And the women are going to pray at the back and the men at the front. So the wife of the bishop is querying why the woman at the back. What answer to give? What answer to give? So I said, well, if the women are at the front and the men at the back, the men won't be able to concentrate. So the bishop stroked his head. He says, yes, I can understand.